Hey, what's up, Dynasty owners? Jay Pounds here. We got another weekly video for you guys. Of course, it's a rebuild video as always because I'm your guys' rebuild guy. You know how it is. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, leave some comments, all that good stuff. It helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. This week, we're going to go ahead and do another buy, sell, and hold. We got two more after this one. This week is going to be the NFC West. We got the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams, and the 49ers. The 49ers just cut Kevin White today. It's a sad day in NFL history. It's always sad to see Kevin White get cut, man. He's been cut everywhere he's been. I had high hopes for that kid. He was a great talent coming out of West Virginia, and I feel like he'd have been a lot of fun to watch. But it didn't work out, as most do. So you know how it is in the NFL. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. That way, this isn't a lengthy video like last week's was. Did have a miss from last week. I forgot to put Amon-Ra St. Brown in there, Lions wide receiver. This kid is going to get a ton of targets. It wouldn't surprise me to see him finish as a top 30 wide receiver as a rookie. He doesn't have tremendous draft capital, but it's high enough that he's going to be the stud of the wide receiver. Of the wide receiver room for the Lions. They got Brashad Perryman. They got Tyrell Williams. Those names don't scare anybody. If Amon-Ra St. Brown can't beat them guys out, then there's a problem with his career. But I feel like I think it's going to be him and Cephas by the time the year's over. That's just how I see it playing out. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into the NFC West. We got the buys first for the Seattle Seahawks. Up first, we got DK Metcalf, 2 years, $1.1 million. DK Metcalf tried his luck in track and field, and it didn't work out for him. He was pretty average by their standards. But he doesn't get the practice and all that they do. And the amount of muscle that dude has on him, it's extremely impressive that he was able to keep up with those guys. To be honest, I'm looking for DK to keep growing as a player and continuing to get better. He's one of my favorite young receivers in the game, and he's tied to Russ for years to come. You can't beat that. If you can get your hands on him, I recommend doing it. After that, we got Dwayne Eskridge, 4 years, $1.4 million. Dwayne Eskridge was drafted in the third round by the Seahawks. They don't have a first round pick. They lost it in the Jamal Adams trade. So when you got teams like the Texans or the Seahawks invest in a third round pick in somebody, it may not seem like much, but it really is when that's the first pick they're getting in the draft. I believe the Seahawks had a second rounder, but still, you're taking Dwayne Eskridge that high, and it's just they got Lockett and Metcalf. His role scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but somebody's got to step into this third receiver role for the Seahawks, and why not Dwayne Eskridge when they're drafting him that high? After that, we got Cade Johnson, 3 years, $800 million. Cade Johnson's just a flyer. So a young, talented kid you want to put on the back end of your roster. Might not even make the Seahawks roster, but you never know. If he works out, maybe he beats out Dwayne Eskridge and becomes that number 3 guy. And then you're sitting on a solid trade chip at that point. After that, we got Gerald Everett, 1 year, $6 million. Everett was a second round pick with the Rams a few years back and just never really panned out. He's been very, very underwhelming throughout his entire career. And Higbee kind of really beat him out for that position, and now you see Higbee as a lone guy in Los Angeles with Everett moving up the road to Seattle. I like Everett as a talent. I was a fan of his coming out. I love the fact that he is now paired with Russell Wilson instead of Jared Goff, even though it would be Matt Stafford this year. He's been playing with Jared Goff, and we all know how that's worked out for people. Maybe if you're Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, it works out well, but nobody else. After that, we're moving on to the Los Angeles Rams, and the first one might surprise you guys a bit. I got Cam Akers as a buy. I know the kid just tore his Achilles and all that stuff, but he didn't get a lot of work year 1. He's not going to get any work year 2. So that means by year 3, he's going to be fresh, ready to go. I forgot to share my article. Sorry, guys. And there we go. All right. But by year 3, he should be ready to go. He's gonna be the lead guy in Los Angeles. I feel like if they were gonna sign somebody major, they'd have did it already, and they just haven't. So it seems like it's gonna be Akers' show next year, and if you can get him, you're getting him cheap right now. He just tore his Achilles. Nobody's gonna make you pay a ton for him, so get him cheap right now. Grab him while you can. Store him on your bench, and he's not going to cost you anything towards your goal of the number 1 pick. He's not going to be scoring you points, winning weeks, nothing like that. So it's a win-win situation there trading for Akers. He'll finally be starting to get into form when your team is ready to win a championship. So Akers is one of my favorite buys for the running back position as far as it goes for rebuilding. After that, we got Van Jefferson, 3 years, $1.4 million. Van Jefferson. It seems like the Rams are going to draft a stupid wide receiver in the second round every single year and then just not play him. I mean, it's Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, Josh Reynolds, even though Reynolds wasn't a second rounder, but it's just they're investing all this high capital in these wide receivers, and they got guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods sitting on their roster already, and I don't know, I don't understand it. You'd think they'd want to beef up their offensive line a little bit, maybe get Aaron Donald some help on the D line, but it's been receiver every single time for him, and I like Van Jefferson as a talent a lot more than Tutu Atwell, who we'll see next. But it's just you got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods locked into long-term deals. I'm going to buy Van Jefferson as a talent, but be cautious doing so and don't give up much to get him. Just because Matthew Stafford's there, don't think Van Jefferson's going to be this world-class wide receiver, because he's probably not. He is going to be productive. He'll get some targets, but like I said, he's not going to be a fantasy star. You're kind of just holding on to him, throughout your rebuild and hoping he blossoms when it's time to win. After that, we got Tutu Atwell, 4 years, $1.4 million. He's in the exact same situation Van Jefferson is, only a little bit worse because he's got Van Jefferson to worry about. I like the draft capital of Tutu Atwell. I have him in a few places. I'm going to continue grabbing him just because he has high draft capital, and there's a chance he beats Van Jefferson out. Let's just be honest. After that, we got the 49ers, the buy for the 49ers. At first, we got Trey Lance. Young quarterbacks, I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. Young quarterbacks are dynasty owner gold. If you can get your hands on one, do it. Especially somebody like Trey Lance, who's got that Konami code with his legs, and he's going to get you a ton of fantasy points on the ground as well as throwing the ball. After that, Elijah Mitchell, 4 years, $915,000. He's another dart throw. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these dart throws. Just somebody you want to put on the back end of your roster and hope he becomes a product of Kyle Shanahan. After that, we got Brandon Ayuk, 3 years, $3.1 million. I'm going to do Ayuk and Debo together. As you see, we got Debo next. These guys are kind of like Batman and Robin. I think Ayuk is going to be the star over Samuel, but I think Samuel's going to be the better value for his for the career through Dynasty owner in terms of Dynasty dollars for points. It's neck and neck with these two, but I just see a little bit more with Ayuk. He really, really took off at the end of last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I think he's going to outproduce Debo by a lot, but as you see, his salary is almost double. So it's, you got to look, who do you want, the star or the value? And then when they get paid here in 2 and 3 years, Ayuk's probably going to get a little bit more as long as things go on the same trajectory they are, and Samuel will be a little bit more of a value. Yes, you're going to pay a year earlier for Samuel, but in the long run, they're going to equal out, and I just think Ayuk will be a little more productive, and Samuel will be that value. After that, we have George Kittle, 5 years, $15 million. I get it; he's on a second contract. He's expensive, very expensive. $15 million for a rebuilding owner is not something I'm usually going to tell you to do. But with George Kittle, it's different. The tight end position gives you an advantage every single week. Every single week, if you have an elite tight end, you have an advantage over who you're playing unless they have Travis Kelce. It's just plain and simple. It's easy math. So I'm suggesting you go buy George Kittle. Yeah, he's going to cost you a little bit. I actually got him for the 2-1 in a rookie draft. Straight up, I loved the trade. Now I'm building around Patrick Mahomes and George Kittle. Like I said, start at the quarterback and tight end position and then work your way out. They tend to last the longest, and then you go to your receivers and you get your running backs. So that's what I'm doing there. I actually went running back instead of receiver. I'm just trying different strategies, and in that league, it's kind of I want to build around a couple expensive players and then start at running back and see if I can hit on wide receiver after that, and just see how it works out in this format. After that, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Buys for the Arizona Cardinals. We got Eno Benjamin, 3 years, 849. Um, I like Eno Benjamin a lot as a talent. I feel like personally he is the most talented running back on the Arizona Cardinals roster. They got Chase Edmonds and James Conner, but those guys aren't world beaters. They're not making you excited. I get excited when I think about Eno Benjamin starting in that offense with Kyler Murray and Nuke Hopkins and the lanes that kid could have to run through. Oh, it could be fun to watch. After that, we got Kyler Murray. 2 years, 8.9 million. Kyler, the little mighty mouse, man. That's what I like to call him. He's lightning fast. He's strong. He shows up. He's ready to play, and he produces for your fantasy roster. He is going to be very expensive to acquire. If you have him already, you're not letting him go. But if you got to go out and get him, just make sure you plan for that future contract. We've seen Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes both are now over 40 million. Dak Prescott's right at 40 million. So it's the new norm. Kyler Murray is going to get 40 million. It's just a matter of when. After that, Christian Kirk, 1 year, 1.4 million. Kirk's really in my opinion, you're buying him and holding him until next year and seeing what happens. Hoping he goes somewhere else where he can really produce and be a star and show that talent that we all know he has. After that, we got Rondell Moore, 4 years, 1.7 million. Rondell Moore is the Christian Kirk killer. It's what I like to call him because he is going to come in and take Christian Kirk's job. Might not be right away, but it will be relatively quickly. By mid-season, I'm thinking he'll be on the field a lot, and Christian Kirk won't. Especially if AJ Green pans out there, they're going to face Christian Kirk out pretty quick. Max Williams, 1 year, 3.5 million. I loved Max Williams coming out of Minnesota. He got took by the Baltimore Ravens, and Mark Andrews happened. You can't fault the kid for Mark Andrews happening. Mark Andrews is a top tier tight end, and now Max Williams is about to get his chance. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see him with Kyler Murray and things like that, and hopefully his athleticism will win out. He killed the pre-draft process when he was a rookie coming into the league. Let's move on to the sells. We got the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, 3 years, 35 million. I apologize if you hear my son hacking in the background. Russell Wilson, man, he's a stud, but at 35 million, he's getting up there in age a little bit. He's still got a while to play, but it's just not somebody I want to build my rebuilding roster around. So I'm going to go ahead and sell Russell Wilson. He might not be easy to sell because of his salary, but you're looking for a contending owner that's got Derek Carr and can afford 10 million. You're trying to trade with that guy, something like that. After Russ, we got Chris Carson, 2 years, 5.2 million. Chris Carson's a beast, man. This dude, I don't know where these people say he's injury prone, and he gets injured all the time, and I just don't see it. He misses a game a season, it seems like. He gets these little tiny nagging injuries that don't really hold him out of games, yes, but he's not missing extended time or anything like that. His salary is 5.2 million, guys. You can trade this dude to anybody. You can make this deal work with any owner in your league, no matter what their salary is at. You can make this deal work in some way, shape, or form. I love Chris Carson as a sell, and if you have him, sell him. The running back market is ugly. He's not going to be around when you're ready to win. Get rid of him now and take advantage of it. After that, we got Tyler Lockett, the most inconsistent player in fantasy. No, I love Tyler Lockett. I'm hoping he gains a little bit more consistency as we go. But at 1 year, 10.2 million. I believe he's locked into another new deal. I should have looked that up before I did this, and I believe that kicks in next year. So he's tied to Seattle for a while, but he's getting up there in age. It's just not somebody I want to build my rebuilding team around, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and sell Tyler Lockett, even though I like the talent. After that, we got the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford, 2 years, $27 million. Same thing with Russ. He might be a little hard to trade. It'll be easier to trade than Russ was, but he's not going to be easy to trade. The Rams offense should take a huge step up from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford, and that's kind of what everybody's banking on. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sell the hype on Matthew Stafford. Yes, I am expecting a big year out of him, but as a rebuilding owner, he's just not somebody that's really going to be around and producing like you need him to when you're ready to win. After that, we got Darrell Henderson, 2 years, $1 million. This is a guy I'm selling every bit of. He is hyped up like no other right now. There's a chance the Rams sign another running back, but I feel like they're going to go committee approach, kind of like they did last year with Brown, Henderson. Now they got Xavier Jones. They got a couple rookies in that Jake Funk, Raymond Calais. He's not a rookie, but they got him still. Nobody's impressive. But that being said, they made it work last year. And even in the games Cam Akers was out last year, Darrell Henderson never had over a 70% snap share. It's actually a little lower than 70, but I could not find the exact stat. I forget where I read it at or heard it at. But it was like a 65% snap share is the most he's ever seen in his entire career. So you're not looking at Darrell Henderson being a workhorse, and I don't think it's going to change now if it didn't last year when Akers was out. After that, we got Xavier Jones. This is just somebody you're trying to take advantage of the hype. Cam Akers went down with an Achilles injury, and Xavier Jones is getting hyped up because Darrell Henderson might not be the answer. So go ahead and sell Xavier Jones while he's being hyped up. You're probably not going to get any better value for him than he's worth right now. So I'm selling Xavier Jones. After that, we got Deshaun Jackson. Like I said in the article, I'm not sure if any owner in their right mind will give you anything for Deshaun Jackson. But if you find one that will, take it and run. After that, Cooper Kupp, 3 years, $15.7 million. He's just a little Wes Welker type guy, and I think he's going to do well with Stafford. I'm looking for a big bump in numbers for him and Robert Woods. But that being said, he's $15 million. You can find better pieces to rebuild your roster around. Robert Woods, 5 years, $16 million, $16.2 million. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods, $16 million a year. You can find better pieces to build your roster around. Leave Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp for the contending owners. After that, Jimmy G, 2 years, $27 million. Good luck trading him. I almost should have put him as a hold because if you still got him, you might as well just hold him and see if the 49ers trade him and see what his trade value is at that point. But until then, you're going to have a tough time dealing Jimmy G at that salary. Raheem Mostert, 1 year, $2.9 million. Mostert he's a solid running back, but I don't think the backfield's his in San Francisco no more. They took Trey Sermon, they traded up to get him after trading a massive haul to get Trey Lance. Then they could turn around and trade up to get Trey Sermon. It's just, I don't think it's in the cards for Mostert anymore. He's going to be more of a change of pace back. So I'm selling him before the season even starts. After that, we got Trey Sermon, 4 years, $1.2 million. You guys might be like, what a rookie to sell. He's a rookie. He's about to take over the 49ers backfield. Yeah, well, I don't think the hype's ever going to get as big as it is right now with Trey Sermon. Everybody's hyping Sermon up. I seen him go ahead of Travis Etienne and Javonte Williams in a home league dynasty draft, a dynasty rookie draft. Unbelievable. You're not going to get better value out of him, unless he comes out and is what everybody's drafting him to be right now. Then you're gaining value. But I'm not taking the chance. I'm getting a ton of value for him right now. Yes, you might add a little bit, waiting 8 weeks, but you also might lose a ton. So the risk versus reward just isn't there. I'm selling him now. Arizona Cardinals, Chase Edmonds, 1 year, $700,000. James Conner, 1 year, $1.7 million. Putting these guys in it together because I just don't see either one of these guys being a workhorse. There are going to be owners in your league that believe in each of these guys. One owner might think Chase Edmonds is going to be the starting running back. The other one thinks James Conner is going to beat him out. So find whichever one of these guys you got, find the owner that loves the guy you got and trade him to him immediately, because I feel like it's going to get messy in the Arizona backfield after a couple weeks. After that, we got DeAndre Hopkins, 4 years, $27 million. Huge contract. Good luck trading him. I said in the article, if you can find somebody, a contender that's got a bad deal, like last year, I had Julio Jones. Knew I was rebuilding, so I was ready to get rid of him. So if you can find somebody like with AJ Green's contract last year, 1 year, $17 million. That's exactly who I traded Julio Jones for, and I got Jalen Reagor in a second rounder for it too. I think it was. But anyway, so you find somebody like that a big contract that the contending owner doesn't want, and it would help him out getting rid of, and you trade Nuke for that plus some draft capital. After that, we got this hold for the Seattle Seahawks. We are now in the hold players. For the Seahawks, we got Rashad Penny, 2 years, $2.6 million. Nobody knows what Rashad Penny can be. Nobody knows what he's going to look like. He's a complete mystery. He's been hurt his entire career. He was a first-round draft pick, and it's just been a disappointment ever since. They're saying he's healthy. They say he looks good, so we'll see what happens with him. After that, Travis Homer, 2 years, $600,000. Homer's basically, if you're going to hold on to him, it's because I shouldn't say you're hoping Penny gets hurt, but you're thinking Penny is going to get hurt again, and then you can trade Homer to the Chris Carson as owner as a handcuff. Freddie Swain, 4 years, $850,000. Freddie Swain is, he's kind of in the same situation as Dwayne Eskridge and Gerald Everett, who's going to be third in targets for the Seattle Seahawks. If Dwayne Eskridge or Cade Johnson fail, I don't know why I said Gerald Everett, sorry about that. But if Johnson or Eskridge fail, Freddie Swain could step in, and maybe you can sell him to a contending owner for a third-round pick or something. After that, we got Tyler Higbee, 3 years, $7.2 million. He would be a buy, but I want to hold him right now and see if he can break out with Matthew Stafford and really boost his trade value. After that, we got the 49ers. We got Wayne Gallman, 1 year, $990,000. Wayne Gallman, he stepped in very well for Saquon Barkley last year, and it was impressive what he did. He wasn't putting up huge numbers or anything like that, but he filled in and won some people some fantasy championships, or at least got them to the playoffs. Now he's with the world-class Kyle Shanahan that just churns out running backs, and we'll see what happens. So I'm holding him just to see, maybe Shanahan puts his hand on him and gives him a 7-yard per carry average. After that, we got Richie James, 1 year, $630,000. We all remember the Richie James game last year where he just blew up. It won me some money on DraftKings. I was pretty happy with it. But that third receiver spot, same as the Seattle Seahawks, it's there for the 49ers. They got Ayuk, they got Samuel, they got nobody after that, except for George Kittle. But George Kittle's not a receiver, so we're not talking about him. But like I said, somebody's got to step up in that third spot, and why not Richie James? He's the most likely on the roster to do it, in my opinion. And if it's not going to be him, maybe it's the next guy, Jalen Hurd, 2 years, $1.1 million, basically. He's been like Rashad Penny, basically hurt his entire career. The 49ers took him in the third round. It seems like they still got faith in him. He's still on the roster. So I'll hold on to him and see. I trust Kyle Shanahan. If he believes in him, I believe in him. After that, we got AJ Green, 1 year, $6 million. If for some reason you still have this guy on your roster, just hold him and see what he can be with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins on the other side of him. Maybe you can sell him to a contending owner for a second or a third rounder if he blows up. Other than that, you might as well just cut this guy. After that, last but not least, we got Andy Isabella, 2 years, $1.1 million. I was optimistic on Isabella coming out of college, and it just didn't work out for him. He just never panned out. I don't think he's going to turn into anything. But if you still believe in him, hold on to him for the year and see what happens. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. That is your NFC West breakdown for buy, sell, and hold. Again, this is looked at through a rebuilding owner's eyes. Every article I do is is about rebuilding until we get to the season. I am going to be doing the free agent auction articles again, like I did last year, and hopefully another weekly article. I'm gonna try to get 2 out for you guys this season, all season long, and we'll keep the content flowing for you guys. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new here and just coming across this video, thank you guys for watching. And if you're just checking us out, like I said, go to dynastyowner.com or app.dynastyowner.com. Check it out, do some mock drafts, get a feel for the game. I promise you're going to have a lot of fun. If you're a big time fantasy football player, you will enjoy this game a lot. It is a ton of fun. It's very, very realistic. You honestly really feel like you're somewhat of a GM. You don't have the defensive players and all that to worry about, but you have to manage a cap. You got to plan ahead. You got to plan for future contracts. You got to guess what these guys are going to get. That way you can plan for that future contract. It's awesome. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We will catch you guys next week. Live stream next Wednesday, 2 p.m. We'll see you guys there, and stay safe out there, guys.